High-protein meals for fat loss without losing muscle. Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to Vital Living. If you're trying to lose fat right now, there's one mistake I see people make over and over again. They cut their calories too aggressively and don't eat enough protein. The result? They lose weight, but they also lose a decent amount of muscle along with the fat. This is what people usually call skinny fat. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how to eat high protein while in a calorie deficit so you can lose fat while keeping as much muscle as possible. We're going to talk about how much protein you actually need, the best high-protein foods to focus on, how to structure your meals, and I'll give you plenty of practical meal ideas that are realistic for busy people. This isn't about eating chicken and broccoli 3 times a day. I'm going to show you how to hit high-protein targets while still enjoying your food and staying in a deficit. So if you want to lose fat without looking flat and losing all your muscle, stick around. Let's get into it. Why protein matters so much during fat loss. When you're in a calorie deficit, your body needs energy. If it doesn't get enough energy from food, it will start breaking down both fat and muscle for fuel. The goal during fat loss is to lose as much fat as possible while losing as little muscle as possible. Protein plays a huge role in this process. Eating enough protein does several important things. It helps preserve muscle tissue when you're in a deficit. It increases satiety, helps you feel full, which makes it easier to stay in a calorie deficit. It has a high thermic effect, meaning your body burns more calories digesting protein compared to carbs or fat. It supports recovery and training performance. If you're training hard, especially with weights, and eating low protein while in a deficit, you're making it much harder to keep your muscle. On the other hand, eating high protein makes it significantly easier to look lean and muscular as you lose weight. How much protein do you need when losing fat? For most people who are training and want to preserve muscle while losing fat, I recommend aiming for 1.8 to 2.4 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight, or roughly 0.8 to 1.1 grams per pound of body weight. So if you weigh 80 kilograms, 176 pounds, you should aim for somewhere between 145 to 190 grams of protein per day. If you weigh 70 kilograms, 154 pounds, aim for 125 to 170 grams. The leaner you are and the more aggressive your deficit, the higher you should push your protein intake, closer to the upper end of the range. If you have more body fat to lose, you can sit a bit lower in the range and still do well. Hitting these numbers consistently is one of the most effective things you can do to protect your muscle while dieting. Best high-protein foods for fat loss. When you're trying to hit high protein while staying in a calorie deficit, food choice matters. You want foods that are high in protein but relatively low in calories. Here are some of the best options. Lean meats. Chicken breast. Turkey breast. Lean ground turkey, 93% or higher. Lean beef, 90% or higher. Fish and seafood. Cod, tilapia, shrimp, tuna, in water, salmon, in moderation. Dairy. Greek yogurt, plain, non-fat or low-fat. Cottage cheese, low-fat. Skim milk or Farlife milk. Eggs. Egg whites, very high protein. Low calorie. Whole eggs, use a mix of whole eggs and egg whites. Other great options. Whey protein and casein protein. Protein powder blends. Turkey deli meat, low sodium. Canned tuna and canned chicken. These foods allow you to hit high protein numbers without going over your calorie target too easily. How to structure high protein meals. When building meals for fat loss, I recommend using this simple structure. Protein plus vegetables plus smart carbs plus healthy fats. Make protein the main part of your meal. Fill up on vegetables for volume and fiber. Add a moderate amount of carbs, especially around training. Include some healthy fats, but don't overdo them. This structure helps you stay full while keeping calories under control. For example, instead of eating a huge plate of pasta, you might do a smaller portion of pasta with a big piece of chicken breast and a big serving of vegetables. High-protein meal ideas for fat loss. Here are some practical, high-protein meal ideas that work well during a fat loss phase. Breakfast ideas. Greek yogurt, 200 to 300 grams, mixed with protein powder plus berries plus a few almonds. Egg white omelette with spinach, peppers, and turkey deli meat plus whole grain toast. Protein overnight oats made with Greek yogurt, protein powder, and unsweetened almond milk. Lunch ideas. Grilled chicken breast with a big salad, quinoa, and light dressing. Tuna salad, made with Greek yogurt instead of mayo, on whole grain bread with vegetables. Lean ground turkey stir-fry with lots of vegetables and a moderate portion of rice. Dinner ideas. Baked cod or shrimp with roasted vegetables and sweet potato. Lean beef stir-fry with broccoli and a small portion of rice. Chicken breast with asparagus and white rice. Snack ideas. Cottage cheese with berries or pineapple. Protein shake with a small apple or rice cakes. Hard-boiled eggs with some fruit. Greek yogurt with a small handful of nuts. These meals can easily help you hit 160 to 200 plus grams of protein per day while staying in a calorie deficit. Sample daily meal plan, around 1,800 to 2,000 calories. Here's an example of what a high-protein day could look like. Breakfast. Greek yogurt plus protein powder plus berries, 45 grams protein. Lunch. Grilled chicken plus big salad plus quinoa plus light dressing, 50 grams protein. Snack. Cottage cheese plus pineapple, 25 grams protein. Dinner. Lean ground turkey stir-fry with vegetables and rice, 45 grams protein. Evening snack. Casein protein shake or Greek yogurt, 30 grams protein. Total. Approximately 195 grams protein. This is very doable and keeps you full throughout the day. Common mistakes that cause muscle loss. Here are some mistakes I see people make when trying to lose fat. Eating too little protein. This is the biggest one. If you're in a deficit and eating low protein, you're much more likely to lose muscle. Doing too much cardio and not enough strength training. Cardio helps create a deficit, but strength training is what tells your body to keep muscle. Being in too aggressive of a deficit. Losing weight too fast, more than 1 to 1.5 pounds per week for most people, increases the risk of muscle loss. Not eating enough overall. Some people undereat so much that their body has no choice but to break down muscle. A moderate deficit is usually better for muscle retention. Skipping strength training entirely. If you only do cardio while dieting, you're much more likely to lose muscle. Should you use protein supplements? Protein supplements are not mandatory, but they can be very helpful when trying to hit high protein targets in a deficit. Whey protein is great after training or as a snack. Casein protein is useful before bed because it digests slowly. If you struggle to hit your protein target with whole foods alone, adding 1 to 2 scoops of protein powder per day can make things much easier without adding too many calories. How to adjust based on your goal. Aggressive fat loss. Push protein higher, closer to 2.2 to 2.4 grams per kilogram, and keep carbs moderate. Moderate fat loss. Sit around 1.8 to 2.0 grams per kilogram and keep a more moderate deficit. Recomp. Lose fat and build muscle at the same time. This is harder but possible for beginners. Keep protein high and don't cut calories too aggressively. Final thoughts. Losing fat without losing muscle comes down to a few key things: eating enough protein, training with weights, and not being in too aggressive of a calorie deficit. High-protein meals don't have to be boring. With the right food choices and a little bit of planning, you can eat satisfying meals while still making progress toward a leaner body. The people who keep their muscle while dieting are usually the ones who prioritize protein and strength training. If you do those two things well, you'll look much better at the end of your fat loss phase. If you want me to create a full weekly high-protein meal plan based on your calorie target, just let me know your approximate daily calories and I'll help you build one. Also, if you have any questions about hitting high protein while losing fat, drop them in the comments. I read pretty much every comment. If this video helped you understand how to protect your muscle while dieting, make sure to like it and subscribe to the channel. We post new content every week about fitness, fat loss, and nutrition strategies that actually work. Thanks for watching. Guys, I appreciate you. Eat enough protein, train hard, and I'll see you in the next one.